you 2 weeks to meet and submit your research proposal, and then we will take it from there. After today's class, you should be able to understand how to write a proposal and how to your proposal should be convincing. So I will use a paper that I write before and use the proposal aspect of the paper, and then we we will discuss it today. After this class, you should be able to take a reference of that paper and structure your proposal in the same way. And once that is done, we will be able to move on to writing the project. Once I approve your proposal, I will approve it if you did the writing, and then you can start writing your project. If you miss some point or I'm not convinced with the proposal, I will reject it, which means you have to bring another topic and start writing proposals again. That will take your time. So please take your time, identify the topic, and then come. I think I'm presenting, right? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Can you read something in the screen so I can know you're seeing my screen? Hello?
One of the largest investment in many administrations is the creation, maintenance, and retrieval of information.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. That's what I wanted to know, that you're seeing my screen. So here, this is a research topic, and it's a research project. And the research project here, you can see, is the electronic course registration system. We designed an electronic course registration system, but because of the research proposal, it doesn't mean you have to build a project. You can just write a proposal, and then you convince your lecturer, or you convince your grant committee, or whosoever is responsible for marking you, for reviewing your proposal. You convince them that this is a good project, and in order to allow you or fund your project for you to take your research or to the next level to continue writing the research, your proposal have to be accepted and approved by the grant committee or by the supervisor. Like in this case, I am your supervisor in this course, and I have to approve your proposal before you can go along to write your final project paper. Okay, in order to do that, you have to structure your proposal in a very good way. The most important thing in choosing or writing a proposal is the topic. Your topic should be convincing. We talked about that in the last lecture, that choosing a good topic always stand out in the large audience different, which means you have to select the best topic. For example, here, electronic course registration system. It was a good topic during the time that I chose this, because by then UTG was not having an electronic course registration system. That was the manual way of doing course registration. Then we introduced the ERP system, that's the electronic course registration system. So which means this research was very good based on the intervention that we did, and it was timely. In your own case, you can also choose something that is timely, that is needed. Okay? For example, waste management system. It's something that we need in the Gambia. All right? Healthcare management system, healthcare monitoring system, hotel reservation management system. You have a lot of people in the Gambia nowadays that people are working because of the COVID-19. If you have the system, you allow people to log into the system, you know, to choose what they want, to book appointment. Okay? For example, healthcare monitoring system, you can book an appointment with the doctor, get a time, know what you want, send him information about you, what you're feeling, your blood level, your blood group. He will be able to accumulate all this information and prepare for it and wait for you at the meeting time. This gives them an insight, a background of what they are going to do when they meet you. Okay, so the topic is very important. Try to choose a topic that is convincing. If you just take any topic and come to me, I will not accept it. Also, avoid taking things that already people use and develop. For example, avoid taking a system that is already designed and developed. You just want to copy it from the internet and bring it. It would be a problem if you come to defense. If you come to defend the project, it will be a problem, because I will ask you questions that I know that this is not your work. It's something that you plagiarize, that you just copy from the internet, you know, format it in your own way and submit it to me as your work. It's a research project. Sit down and think about something in your community that you need a timely intervention, that needs some development, that needs some help, that needs some work, that you know you can fix it, or you can fix part of it. Develop that into writing skills and write it as your research project. That way, you will have the idea of how to write a research, and you will have the idea of the research methodologies that you will use to conduct your research, the experiments. You will have the idea of the broad perspective of writing a research and a good research paper. Not necessarily you have the good research paper. You go through the process of writing a research paper that will help you to understand how to write the proper research. Okay. From there, you go to the background. After choosing the topic that you choose will have some background information that people talk about before in that topic, and the reason why you want to take that topic. That is the background information of a particular topic. For example, in our example today, it's electronic course registration system. And on the background, we have one of the largest investment in many administrative, the creation, maintenance, and retrieval of information. Okay? It has been estimated that in an organization such as university and college, information is highly essential for correct students' record, especially course record and examinations data. If the student course information is not properly created and stored, will cause many errors in the usage. This is a reference that I got from the background information. You can see if this portion if the student course information is not properly created and stored, it will cause error in the usage. Okay, this is a reference. This was a journal published in 2008 that talk about electronic course registration system. You already agree that this is something that I know that one of the most advanced things to do nowadays in an administrative or institutions is to create and maintain and retrieve information. Electronic course registration system is the same process of creating information, maintaining it, or retrieving it anytime you want it. For example, if you want to register for a course, courses are already created and stored in the Google Classroom that you just go online and register for it. If, for example, you finish your exams, if I want to submit your final grade, I can retrieve your information by just going to the portal and check the assignments that I gave you before, and I already gave you a mark. I retrieve those informations. Okay? I can also maintain this information by submitting your grade to the portal that will keep your grade or hold them there forever. That anytime you request for transcript after 10 years, they will just go to the system, log in, and pull out your data. This is important. And we know this is the largest investment in many administration nowadays. This is among the background reasons. That's why you want to take this project, which means it is convincing. If anyone of your audience or your reviewer reads the background from the beginning, they will automatically agree with you that what you're trying to do, it's convincing. It's something that is essential and needed, because in a university or college, information is highly essential for correct student records, especially course and examination data. Imagine if we have all your records stored in one office and something wrong, like a fire outbreak or someone broken into the office and burned some files. What happened? You lose. Sorry, yeah. You lose all the records. Will you be able to get them back? No, they're gone forever. So how do you know the students that completed their course? How do you know the students that are in third year, the students that are in 4th year? How do you know the courses that they've already completed and the courses that they are yet to do? This problem or this error can never be fixed. In order to avoid that, we think it is necessary to bring the course electronic registration system, which we discussed. And we also have someone else who also talk about electronic course registration system, who is our reference here. And he agreed that if student course information is not properly created and stored, it will cause many errors in the usage. Which means here, we already agree, this person already agreed that the course information system is important. But also added that if the course information system is not properly created and stored, it will cause problem in the usage. For example, if the UTG portal is not properly built or managed, most of the time, if you want to access it, it will give you error message. You may want to log in and sign up for a particular course, but due to time, you have a limited deadline to submit the course. If not, the time for registration will be closed, which means tomorrow registration will close, and today the portal is misbehaving. You cannot log in to register. What will happen? It will create a problem because it's not your fault, but the system fault. That's why in the background, we identified that this course registration or management system should be properly created and stored. Okay. Almost every section of the educational sector requests information processing, which we all agree. With the use of automated system, the following become easy. Now, if you use an automated system, which is the course registration system, rather than having to fill the manual paperwork, the following become easy. Instant access to students' personal detail and course information. Right now, I can access to all of your personal details and information. Once I log into the classroom, I will just click your name and then it will display. If I give you an assignment, I can access the assignment information. I can mark your assignment, I can comment on your assignment, and I can have a discussion with you on your assignment page. Availability of course curriculum to students. Before the semester begins, you have all the curriculum. You have all the courses that are to be mounted in the Google Classroom, in the portal, that you can just go on and log in and see the courses that are available, and you choose the ones that suit you. Without this registration system, you cannot do this. The best thing you can do is walk to the office, request for a course curriculum. They give you a course curriculum. And most of the time, they give you this curriculum at the beginning of the semester. Your first year, first semester, they give you the course curriculum. If you miss it, you miss it, you lose it. You have to go and ask for it from your friends or sometimes we have the new students or another curriculum that affect only the current student. So if you don't know the group that you belong to, it's always a problem. But with the help of a system, we can have the curriculum available to students at any time. Update students' information on time. For example, if you register for a particular course, the information will automatically be updated to the system without having to go to seek the approval of the admission officer or go to seek the approval of a lecturer. No, you just log in online, register for the course, and then leave it. The lecturer will log into his portal, accept your registration or deny your registration, and the final decision is done. Okay? This is timely rather than having to wait. For example, before you have to wait for at least 2 to 3 weeks before you see all the lecturers to sign this paper and submit it. Okay? Another important aspect of the course registration is the automatic calculation of the grade GPA. That's the grade points average, which is your QGPA. Online access to student transcript. You can access your online after submitting finishing the course, and this lecturer mark and submit the grade. Automatically, you can see the grades. Generation of the graduation student list. If we want to generate a graduate student list by next year, 2022, we don't need to wait for people to come and sign their name or write their name that they completed and they need to be audited to graduate. Through the system, we can generate the complete student and sort it to the graduation list. That way, it's easy. Monitor of failed courses. We can also use the system to monitor failed courses. If a student failed a particular course, they have to reset it. Otherwise, the system will not validate you to be part of the graduation list. Keeping an up-to-date record of the entire student body in a university. this system
Are you there, sir? Who is getting him? No, I'm not getting him.
The same here. I'm not getting him too.
Yeah, it's like he's
I think
out.
he's having some difficulties there.
my network was poor, so the computer signed me out. I want to know if that happened for a long time or it's just happening now.
It happened like maybe 3 minutes ago.
3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember where I stopped?
You were talking about.
Go ahead, Keba.
Yeah, you stop on the first page. The first page.
Yes, I mean the particular topic. Like, can you give me a header, background or background study?
4 minutes ago. I can say that.
Yes, I mean where did I stop? At the background or the background study?
You stop at the background.
Okay. No worries. I'll go back. Can you see the presentation again?
No, we are only seeing your face.
Okay. The network is poor. The computer locked me out automatically and I was trying to come back. Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah, yes, I'm seeing it.
Okay, others will be seeing it as well. So then let me go back to the background. Have we discussed about this, the importance of the background? Like instant access to student personal details. Did you get that part?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so now we're going to the background study. Okay. For example, I explained if you choose a waste management system as your research topic that you want to develop as a project, before you write about waste management system, you was convinced. Why are you convinced about waste management system? Because you live in a society or in a community that you see the way they're managing waste is bad and it is causing a lot of problem or hazardous environment. This is the reason why you want to change it. But you know that waste management, waste in the Gambia, management, it's at KMC or BCC or the Kama area country. They're the one responsible for collecting waste, dump it at Farato or Manjai or wherever they are dumping it, which we know is not the right thing to do. And we want to bring a system that will manage the waste, turn it into something that will be reusable in our community and also to reduce the hazards that we cause to the environment. Before you write that, you have to do a background study. Through this background study, it's what will motivate you to able to come up with a research project to say, I am really going to take this project as a research project because you already know the background, something that is causing this problem. Okay, it is, for example, in my own case, when I was designing this project, this research study, UTG was not having online course registration system. So at that time, you either work for UTG or you are a student at the University of the Gambia. You know what is happening inside the University of the Gambia and you can talk about it. It is unfortunate that all education institutions in the developing world, such as the University of the Gambia, still operate under the manual method of course registration system, course record keeping and computing of results. For example, University of the Gambia, American Online University of the Gambia, Sheikh Anta Diop University, and many other universities I visited during my vacation still operate on this manual method, which is likely to error. I already do a background study of this particular problem. After doing the background study, that's the time when you start to do your background. Okay, from there, you select your topic. Once you thought of a topic in your head, in your mind, before you write a background about that topic, do your background study. Study the nature of the environment with regards to the topic that you choose. Know the errors or the problem that it's causing in your environment. That will give you the motivation. As your problem statement will give you the motivation to write about the background, the important aspect of this topic. Okay? Now you can see, with the advance of information technology, the most important focus from many educational institutions is to shift from manual system to automated system. Here, you're already talking about, after discussing this manual method, you are saying that there is an alternative because there is an advance in information technology. And with the advance in information technology, all the people are moving from manual way of doing things to automate it, to make it in a system way. Okay? And again, you give example of numerous systems that emerge by online shopping. For example, now we have different systems. We have the online shopping, we have hotel reservation system, healthcare management system, etc. Okay, the reason why you bring in this system is to back your point. If this system can go online, that's the online shopping, hotel reservation, healthcare management system, why not our education system? Why not UTG also have a system and go online? In your background study, you bring the problem statement, and then you also talk about related field in your area that already apply system to convince the people reading or approving this research that if other people do it and we are in the same domain, it's just the use of technology to code or to program this, why not we also do the same thing? So in your background study, it has to be convincing. You have to bring something, and you have to give something to your audience or to your reviewer that this is the reason why I think we can also do the online course registration system at the University of the Gambia. One reason for the advancement of information technology. Second reason, all those numerous systems such as the online shopping, hotel reservation, healthcare monitoring system, they are all using online now instead of going manual way of doing things. This is the same reason I think I can do the automate system. This is already convincing. You already tell your supervisor the problem statement, the problem that you're facing, and you already tell your supervisor the background, which means there are other studies that have been carried out with regards to what you're trying to do. So you're telling them that this is your first part in trying to do this. There are other lecturers, there are other professors who already write about this. There are other people who already do a research about this. So if you take up this research, you will have enough sufficient materials to complete this research. In another way, you tell them due to the advancement of information technology, this is possible. How is it possible? Because all the manual systems that exist before are now moved to online. So your manual system also can move to online. Okay? And by working or by changing this online, it will now help in the student course registration process in university and tertiary institution, which involve filling registration form manually, getting it signed by head of department, approved by the instructor, that's the lecturer. This process is very difficult and timely consuming. It takes a lot of time. But with the help of this system, we can avoid this problem, which means we can avoid students filling the registration process manually and take this form to the head of department to sign it. And the 6 courses that the student is doing, he or she have to meet all this lecturer one by one to approve it. It will take 2 to 3 weeks before it's finished. Therefore, because of this problem, we base our problem on certain things, and errors arise from the existing manual system. An online course registration system become invertibly, and the benefits cannot be over mentioned. This is the reason why we think we should take the course registration system in an automatic way or in a system rather than doing a manual form of registering to a course. And again, I want to remind you that this was done before the course registration system was introduced. So after this research, I can say, I'm not saying it's the one that inspired the university, but it was conducted by the UTG, and we submitted the research proposal. And based on this research proposal, from the student point of view, they think and know that it is necessary to have the online or electronic course registration system. At that time, my topic, electronic course registration system, was very hot topic because we don't have it, and it was a problem, and which is something that we need. Based on the background study that I gave you here, can you see the relationship between the topic, the background, and the background study of your research project?
Yes.
Okay, can someone just give me an example, okay, or just give me your understanding of the topic, the background, and the background study. I just need to know your understanding of these three different aspects in one, just in one page. You explain to me the difference between the topic, or the relationship between the topic, the background, and the background study. I just want to assess your understanding of this. Anyone can try. You can just try. It doesn't mean you have to know it all. I just need to know your understanding. Well, I will just continue then. And I assume that you understand it, but I will also clarify this point here. The topic, you have a topic in mind. You sit down and think about a problem in your community or in your area that you want to solve. That problem becomes a topic. You choose it as a topic. Okay?
Can I try, Mr. Sir?
Go ahead.
The topic is what we are going to write about.
Yes.
Yes. The background is why we need it. The reason why we need it.
That's the background study. That's the background study.
Oh, okay. I thought the background study is an example of why we need it.
Yes, the background study is why you need it. You elaborate more on why you need this. There is an existing system, and the existing system is not doing this, it's not doing this, it's not doing this. And you mentioned the drawback of the existing system. That will show you, these are your problem statements, the drawbacks that you explain in the existing system. Okay? Then you come into play to talk about the background itself. The background is that you're trying to show to your audience or to your supervisor or to your review committee that this is a work that have already been carried out before me. Okay? And there are a lot of interventions that have been taken and a lot of research that have been carried out regarding this problem that I choose as my topic, which is, in our case, the electronic course registration system. So since a lot of people talk about this and there is a background study, that will give me the opportunity or the chance, like it will help you to start somewhere or to know at least a direction that you can take to complete your research as well. In this way, you have a convincing background or a convincing research project to your supervisor that you convince this person to know that, yeah, he or she can take up this research project and he will be able to complete it on time. The reason why I think he will complete it on time is because he knows the topic. It's a problem that is in his area that he wants to solve. For example, this problem was a problem in our area. As a student at the university, we have to do all this course registration manually. That was a problem in my area that I live with every day, and I know it, I feel it. So this is a good topic. Okay. The other one is I have a problem statement. There are things that I want to do, but the existing system is not allowing me to do those things. For example, I cannot view my transcript online. I want to be able to view my transcript. After completing a course and the lecturer submit the marks, I want to log into a portal to be able to see that if the lecturer submit my grade or submit the right grade or not. This is a problem in the existing system, and I want to change it. That's your problem statement. That is the background study that you made to the existing system. And that's the same background study that we will make by going to KMC to know the problems of the waste management, the problem they are facing, why they cannot use the waste to process it in another way. All they can do is just to collect the waste and dump it in Manjai and burn it there. You go to Manjai and also ask the people, how do they feel when they burn it or when they dump it there? The sense that they are getting, how it is polluting their environment. You collect all these studies, they are your background study, and you use it as your background study. Based on that background study, it's going to serve as your problem statement. These are the problems that you want to solve. Now, if you go to your motivation, you start to talk about how to solve this problem. Okay? Or if you go to your objective, you talk about how to solve this problem. In your motivation, you will talk about what motivates you to take this project. What is the reason that motivates you? Because there is a problem. What is the problem? There is an existing system that cannot do this, that cannot do that, that cannot do that. But before you, there are other students who pass through UTG and they don't worry about writing a system. They write about all the things that they feel is more necessary. Why do you want to write it now? And other students already passed UTG and did not write about it. You must have something that motivates you, that ignites you to write about this. That is where your motivation will come. After you design the background, you talk about all these things, all this problem that happened, and you make a research about this problem, and you know that there are already existing systems that can do similar thing to what you want to do, and this is the problem that you face that you want to fix it, and because of this existing system, you can use them as well to do this. Now you talk about what motivates you to do this. That's where we go to the motivation part. Can you see the motivation part in my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Here in my motivation, I said that the purpose. Remember, this is a proposal writing. It's not a system yet. It's not an approved research yet. So in your motivation, once you are writing, you normally use the propose system, a proposal, because it's a proposal research or a proposal work or a proposal research or proposal system. You have a system in mind, which is the electronic course registration system. If at all you have a course, a project in mind, which is the waste management system, you will mention the proposed waste management system. In this case, we have the electronic course registration system that we proposed at the time. The proposed course electronic registration system will be a web-based system that has the potential of minimizing or eradicating unwanted human error on the student course registration. Here you clearly define your project. My project is going to be an electronic course registration system, and it will be based on a web-based system. What is the web-based system capable of doing? It will minimize or eradicate the unwanted human error on the student course registration system. Before, you have, oftentimes you have human error. That means typing someone's name or giving them a wrong man number or a wrong surname or error surname or wrong address. The system, this web-based system will eradicate all this. Because once you submit a student name or student man number, they will automatically receive this information. If it is not correct, they will automatically change it or ask you to change it. If you submit a student's assignment mark, a particular student did not see his mark, the student will automatically log in and make a private comment on his assignment to say, sir, my assignment is here, but I did not receive mark. If it is an oversight or something that you jump, you get it back easily and fix it. These are human errors that you don't want into your system. And this and the proposed web-based system that we want will automatically eradicate this problem. If you are writing for a review or you are writing for an institution to approve your research or to approve your project, once they read this information, it gives them more interesting view of your project. Or if they can reduce all the errors that we can cause, that can cause a missing grade, or that can cause students not able to access their transcript, or that can cause students coming to lie about, I registered this course and they did not register the course, then yeah, we are really interested in this. Just give them an overview of what you want to do, and it gives them key interest in the remaining part of your project. It will also provide better scalability for managing student course records. The system aim, what is the system aim? In your motivation, you talk about the proposed system that you have in mind. Your audience did not know what you propose in your mind. Your audience did not know Your audience did not know what you want to do. You have it in your mind. So you talk about the aim, what you think this system can fix for your audience or for your researchers or for your institution. At automating the course registration process for students to smoothly carry out their course registration process. Update and modifications will be easily achievable. For example, right now I am in the office with the who's managing the portal for you. He's doing some updates with the course registration system. And some of the time, most of you will come and say, I cannot register for this course. I pay already, but they did not do this for me. I have a 2-man number. All of this is enough to fix it on the background. Like he's right now sitting and modifying this system and changing some of the information that is not appropriate or that need to be advanced. Which means he can update and maintain information easily with the help of this registration system. With the manual way of filling the paperwork, it's always difficult because if you come to my office today, you lodge a complaint after you submit your registration file, and you come like after 2 months when the semester is about to end, and you said, I want to defer this course. I have to look into that file, that paper. If I have more than 1,000 pages or more than 1,000 files, what will happen? It will take me days to get this information. But with the help of the system, I just need your man number, and then I get what I want. Okay? Many universities and colleges in the developed world have their own system to manage student course registration process and maintain good record of students' information. Because I know many students, many universities and colleges in other parts of the world, they already have their own system that they use to manage their students and manage their course and process it and maintain it and keep this information and maintain this information in a database. This is one of the reasons why I know it is doable, because all the universities have done it. So we can do it since we call ourselves a university. So since it is doable and all the universities have done it, it's also something that will motivate me to take up these challenges so that it will also be carried out in my university. Okay? In the developing world, like the Gambia, it's the opposite. Okay? In the developing world, like the Gambia, we agree Gambia is a developing world. It's the opposite of what is happening in the developing world, in developed world. In developed world, they have a system of their own that manage their students, their course, and maintain a good record. But in developing countries like Gambia, it's the opposite. Common practice at the University of the Gambia is that students must present a billing form to obtain billing form that they obtain from the account officer, which is evidence of school fee payments by the student to the department faculty officer before issuing the course registration form. Before this, now that it's okay, you have a system. But I want to tell you, before the system, if you was part of this, if you was part of that curriculum, you know that the common practice that happened in the University of the Gambia at my time when I was designing this research paper, the common practice that happened at the University of the Gambia at that time is you as the student must go to pay your school fees at the accounts office or to the bank, and the bank give you a receipt. You carry the receipt to the accounts office, give them the accounts, give the receipt to the accounts office in queue. You wait for a long period of time. Maybe you will spend the whole day. Maybe you will wait for 2 hours and you will not yet reach the queue. And your class is about to come. You have to leave the queue and go attend your class and come back tomorrow because at 4 o'clock they will close. Sometimes you come, you're queuing more than 20 people, and the account officer will just left his office and said, I'm going to eat breakfast or I'm going to pray while you'll be there waiting. Sometimes you leave most of the time because account department is only in Kanifing. All the people in Brikama or Faraba will have to come here, register, submit their receipt, get the registration form, go back to Brikama to fill that form. These processes take a very long time. This was one of the reasons that motivate me that I want to change this process. I want to change the system, and this system has to be changed because of this problem I face. Okay? This process of verifying fee payment take minutes in a system. If you use the system, it takes minutes to know whether you pay or you did not pay. But it costs overloaded and long queue in the accounts office to obtain the fee receipt. Just the receipt that you obtain from the account office. After paying to the bank and they give you the receipt, just to obtain another receipt from the account office to submit it to your department faculty officer, to give you the registration form to fill manually, it will take you weeks or days before you can obtain this receipt form, just the payment form. And after issuing the registration form to the student, he or she is requested to fill 5 identical forms called the yellow form, which contains student personal data, as well as the course to be registered during the next semester. After filling those forms, the students get them signed by the respective subject instructor, which is the lecturers and the head of department. After this process, the forms are submitted in the administrative block to manually input this information and complete registration. The student also receives 1 copy of the yellow form as an evidence of registration. This process has some weakness, such as long time to search the student course information. If a student comes, this is a new student, they want to register for a particular course. The faculty, they will take the faculty officer a very long time to search this information. The possibility of misplacing of previous forms, if the faculty officer misplaced a previous form in his desk or in his boss office, thought he placed it in his desk, that form is lost. The student has to register again, or that semester the students will be considered as not registered. And if the evidence go and come, the student have to resit the course, because there is no evidence that indicates that you register. And the problem is not from the student, but the faculty officer misplaced the form. Fee verification problem, when payment receipt get lost. For example, if you pay to the bank, you're coming to submit your payment receipt and the payment receipt get lost. Or you get your receipt from accounts office and you going back to Birkama to submit your receipt from account office to your faculty officer to give you the form so you can register. And you lost the form, the receipt on the way. What happened? You come back to Carnifil to request for the same form again. Time consuming to get all the signatories on time. For example, I have students in my CPS class 111. They are from Birkama, but they join my class, which means just for me to approve them to be part of my class, they have to come all the way to Carnifil, give me the paper to write my name and sign it, that yeah, I approve them to be part of my class. These are the things that motivate me, that I want to write about online course registration system. Like now, I can log in online, accept the students that I want to accept. I can also log in offline to deny the students that I don't want to accept. For example, let me just show you something here. Oh, it would take time to log into my UTG portal. I just want to show you something really quick. My UTG portal be UTG. I get it. Okay. Isar. Oh. Okay. These are invalid credential. In the Google Classroom. I'm not seeing it. There's the portal. This.
So UTGM.
Thank you. Okay. You want me to move it? Okay, I want to show you something. Can you, what are you seeing in my screen now?
Portal.
The UTG portal.
Yeah.
Okay, if I click here on courses, I have how many students in this course? Let's say, imagine I have 99 students in this course. I have 78 students in this course. If all of these 99 students have to meet me one by one to sign their form, that would be a time consuming. But here, you see, in my research, is this research method ID? Alassana Mane, who is Alassana Mane? Are you in this class? Can you see Alassana Mane here?
Yes, sir, yes.
What are you saying?
It's like you do not approve him, you do not accept him.
I did not accept Alassana to be part of my class as well, as yet, because Alassana did late to register to this class, which means if I did not accept Alassana to be part of my class, he cannot do any assignment, he cannot submit any assignment, he cannot do any test, and he cannot score any grade. It's going to be no. I think this is more easy for me to just log in, regardless of time and location, to accept the student. For example, right now, I will just accept him. I accept him. If you check Alassana now, it's here, it's accepted. He can do assignment, test, I can submit all the grades. The same thing to this other two students. Keba, you joined the class last week. Okay? Karamba Sise, you joined the class late, but you did not inform me that you joined the class late, you and Alassana. If you don't do that, this is what happened. If I don't accept you to be part of my class, you cannot do anything. Even if you submit grades, if I want to enter your grades, I will not be able to enter it. And there is a time frame that will elapse, I will not be able to accept you again. So if you join a class late, you have to inform the lecturer that you joined the class late. Keba informed me and we discuss about it and I give him time to finish the project. Okay, I accept all of you to be in this class. Okay. So we agree that that time consuming to get all the signatories of the lecturer. For example, if I to wait for all the 99 students in that particular course to meet me one by one and I have to sign and accept, approve their registration, it will take time. It would take a really long time. This is one of the things that motivate me to design to write about the electronic cost registration system. So when you sit down to write about this, your motivation, it should be something that you think in real life. You know, right now, lecturers can just log in and approve it. But in the following slides, you will see that I already discussed about this process that I just did now, that I discussed it in my objective, that it would be nice if lecturers or students can log in to register and lecturers log in to approve registration regardless of time and location. Not necessarily I have to come to the UTG or you have to come to UTG, we meet, I sign it. No, regardless of time and location, I can just approve your registration and you can just register while you are even at home. You can see in the following slide, I will discuss it. Handwritten records stored in a various registration requires a lot of time as well as manpower. How many people that you will need in one office to be doing the hand record keeping? It will be too much. It is very difficult to maintain or update all the records and retrieve certain information or certain data. Right now, if I want to retrieve information of someone like Keba Seka in my class, I just go to the Google Classroom, search for Keba Seka. It will display it automatically for me without having to take the manual paper, open file upon file, file upon file. It was 2013, no. It was 2015, no. It was 2014, check file upon file. Even in 2013, I might even pass Keba's name and will not able to see it in that file, have to go back again to a different file because it's manual. You can skip it at any time. But if it is the computer, if it is a system, you just have to search for the name and then it will give you. Okay? Another thing that motivates me to take up this research is the loss or damage of any of the registered office or registration office will lead to the damage of hundreds of records at the same time. For example, if the record office get burned or something get wrong, that will lead to thousands of students losing their records. But with a system, even if they still stole my computer or the UTG have some fire outbreak and lost everything, we just need to buy physical computers and move to a new location, just install our network and back up our system. We have all the records back on track in our database. Everything will be stored back. This is also one of the things that lead me to want to take up this research. Your motivation should be convincing and should be strong points that make your audience to read this and also be motivated. That if I know that the system that I am proposing, they can design it in this way, the way that I think about it, they can design it in this way and process it in this manner, definitely then I want to do the system. These drawbacks, you have this, these are drawbacks, these are difficulties that you face in the manual system. So these drawbacks of the manual system motivate me to develop the proposed system. You are not yet writing a system. It's a proposed system. But you already have a manual system that is working, that you're using. That's the paper way of filling form. And the damage, what we explained, the damage of one physical location will lead to the damage of thousands of resources. Okay? It's time consuming to look for the lecturer. Okay? To sign this. It's also time consuming and it requires a lot of manpower to keep all these records in a manual way. These are drawbacks of the existing system that we really want to get rid of it. We want to advance to another level. These drawbacks of the manual system is what motivates you to develop the proposed system. The proposed system is the research that you want to take on. The research, the proposed project that you are researching about. Because we are not sure if you build this research, it will be able to fix all the drawbacks of the traditional system. But we think, based on the experience that you give, based on the background that you give, based on the background study that you give, we are convinced that if you take up this project, you will be able to eradicate all the drawbacks and the unwanted human error in the existing system. This is how your motivation will be if you are writing a proposal. Your motivation should talk about your problem statement, the problem that you face, and why you think you can fix it. From there, we move on to literature review. That's the same as the related work. In your related work or literature review, you center your points on people that have carried this work out before you. You centered your work on projects that have been carried out, research that have been carried out, work that have been carried out that similar to what you are trying to do. Even if it is not exactly what you're trying to do, but it's similar to what you're trying to do. And you also explained method, tools, technique that are available that will aid you in the project that you're trying to take. After you mention this, literature review, your supervisor or your review committee will have an insight of what you're trying to do and why do you want to do it and where did you base it. This literature review will tell them that you have a guide that you can follow that will guide you to design this project that you are taking, because there is already existing work and tools and methods and methodologies that you can follow, and it will lead you to your destination. It's not like you started and you stuck here, you don't know what to do next. No, you have papers that you can always read online that will guide you to the next level. You have tools that you can always follow or tools that you can always implement that will help you to move to the next stage of your project. Which means if you take this project, I have 90% chance to believe that you will complete it on time because of your literature review. Your literature review speaks volumes about the work that you are trying to do. So from here, you can see in my related work, it's the same as literature review. We call it related work or literature review. In my literature review or related work, online course registration system will be developed using PHP programming language. This is a language that already exists on the internet, and this is a language that I can have on a free version. So which means I have a tool that is available for me that will help me to begin developing this project that I want to do. That's a tool that you already acquired. This tells your reader that, oh yes, he has a tool that he's using to develop this project, which means it's nothing like I stuck here because this tool, I cannot access it because I have to pay this, I have to do that. No, you already have a free version of PHP programming language that will help you to design this course, online course registration system, which is the coding part, which will have a lot of codes using internet in gathering information, particularly will contribute to the success of this system. You already have information in the internet. If you search online course registration system now in the internet, you will have thousands of documents that will talk about online course registration in a different way or different methods or different tools and different methods or components that are included in this course registration system. So for that being the case, we have internet, and we know if we use internet, we can gather information about this particular thing. In our related work, you mentioned that internet will be a source of information or a source of related evidence to the work that you're currently doing. Number of electronic course registration documents were examined and compared to the needs of proposed electronic students course registration system. In my own case, I examine number of course registration system document. I download a lot of documents that talk about electronic course registration system. I read all of them over and over to understand them and take a pen. While reading, I pin out or use my marker. While reading, I pin out the most important components that I think my system should have. After complete reading my literature review or my related document that I think should serve as a guide for me to complete my project, I start to compare now, compared to the need of the proposed electronic course registration system. I take the components that a particular paper have, the particular paper have this component, I think it is necessary for my course registration system to have it, I will outline it. Once I outline it, I will mark that paper as a reference, and I will use that paper in my reference as well. And that method, even if it is a technique that I get from that paper, I will recite on that method, how to implement it, how to design that method. For example, how to add a payment system. Or once you submit payment, you receive the notification like course registration has successfully been submitted. How do you receive that notification? You research on that, and then you try to capture the tools or method that you will use to add those functions to your course registration system, because that's something that I need. So once I read this document and examine them, I pick that out. This is something that I will need in my course registration system. Okay. These are other sites that I read and have access to understand more about online course registration system. Among the websites that was used in my research, these are among the websites that I use in my research, like Double Screen School, PHP 5 tutorial, GitHubs, okay, freeproject24.com, okay, tutorialpoints.com. These are all websites that I use that helps me to understand or guide me to be able to take up this project. And based on these websites that I mentioned and the documents that I examine, I can able to complete my research on time. For example, PHP 5 tutorial. This is a project. This is a website that designs a lot of tutorials on project. For example, hotel reservation system, hotel management system, healthcare monitoring system, you know, online course registration system, online train booking, online flight booking. So if you go there, you follow the tutorial step by step, you will see that they use functions and they use PHP to design this, to do this coding, and they use these functions to call a particular function, or they use this line of code to call a particular function in your program or in your system. You follow the same tutorial mechanism, you will be able to call that functions in your program, even if it is going to have a different name, but you can call the functions in your program. For example, to allow students to be able to submit assignment. This is a function. It's not a function that I take or drive from the system. No. The system, the functions that the system gave me was how to submit a ticket reservation system. For example, if you book a hotel reservation system, if you're using a hotel reservation system and you book a ticket, or if you're booking a flight ticket, after filling the information, how will you submit your flight ticket? The same method of programming or coding, that's the same method you will follow, but in this case, you will call it in an assignment form to be able to submit assignment online. These are the related work, the literature review that you will follow to be able to execute the programs that you want to run in your program. Okay, I will use this. Okay, it provides me with different codes and ample resources, which I will be using in the development of the automated system, which is the course registration system. Using of textbooks and journal on the internet is also a great source of information and assistance in realizing the goal of this proposed system. This is your proposed system. And if you have a document that you read over the internet, you can also cite part of the document that talk about or that discuss something that depict what you're trying to do. You can also cite it to convince your audience or your supervisor that, okay, there is a particular document in page this, or there is a particular book in this page that talk about this particular thing. And it's also the same method that I will follow to be able to complete my project as well. Okay, after the, okay, good. From there, once you bring the information where you get all this information, if you have a recent project that is similar to what you want to do that happened in the Gambia or in your surrounding area, you can also use that as a reference. For example, here, recently, the American International University Gambia launched a course registration portal. This portal helped in many initial research. of the online course registration system. For example, this portal that the American Online University launched, it helps you to realize your research dream. That, oh, I can also do this type of research for a course registration system. Since the American Online University do a course registration portal, I can do something similar to it and call it online course registration system. The AIU has a medical school, dentist and pharmacy, founded by the American Embassy in the Gambia in February 1st, 2011. It's the first university in the Gambia to provide online course registration portal to its students and a program based on a curriculum module. Remember, the time I was doing this research, UTG did not have the portal. So the American AIU is the first university in the Gambia that provide online course registration portal to students. And I use that as an example to elaborate more on the problem that we have and to elaborate more that I can do this because it's already an existing system in the Gambia, which is done by the AIU. At AIU, students can pay their semester bill and do their course registration during the summer holiday. They don't need to wait for school to open. By then, UTG, you have to wait until school open. The first 2-3 weeks of school, there is nothing like planning. It's the process of registering course, up and down. Birkama, Faraba, Kanifin, Banju, Westfield, Talindi. You're going up and down. Sometimes you will following lecturers from here to this place. They will tell you, I am having class in Birkama. You go all the way to Birkama, call them, I am in class. Wait. After they finish their class, instead of remembering that there is someone waiting for them, they're in a hurry because there is another class that they're supposed to take in Kanifin. So they will just go into their car and drive to Kanifin. In the next 15 minutes, you call them, they say, oh my God, sorry, I already left Birkama, but I will be there tomorrow, so you can wait until tomorrow. Why? You're from Kanifin, so you have to come back to Kanifin, attend your class, or you already missed your class. But because of this, we know that the American Online University, they even pay their bill, tuition fee, and register for their courses during the summer holiday and wait for school to open. Since this is happening, and I am seeing it with my eyes, and I am in the Gambia, and I know this can possible, so I am also going to use them as a reference, as a related work to what I am doing. Once university open, effective learning begins. Okay. At the University of the Gambia, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to complete registration and effective learning. Due to this easy process by the AIU, they are attracting more students over the year, and many students from the University of the Gambia are transferring to AIU because of this easy process that they want to achieve. And in the university is group. At the AIU, after every semester, instructor will upload courses, course grades, and students can access their grades through the portal. This is what we are having right now. Okay, if you come here, can you see this? Are you seeing this?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Abdul Wahab Jabal. I can say test 25. What happened?
It is updated.
If Abdul is in the class, if he checked on his email right now or Google Classroom right now, he will receive the email. He will receive the message that he received 25 tests in this course. That's the same thing. That's the same thing we're talking about right now. Okay, that student, that lecturers can. Sorry, let me go back to the. Okay, by then UTG don't have that. Okay, but AIU they have it. At the AIU, after every semester, instructor will upload course grade and student can access their grade through the portal. This is the same thing that I just demonstrated now, But remember, when I was writing this document, we do not have the course registration system, which is the portal, which we now have. So my research might contribute 80% or 90% of the project that we have done today to have the portal. Okay? This easy process gives students a clear view of their next module in the coming semester at the university of in the coming semester. For example, once I gave Wahab that grade, and then at the end of the day, Wahab finished everything. Before even the semester end, Wahab will know if I am going to pass this course or not, and will give them a clear view of the next module. Since I finished research methods, it's prerequisite. Maybe research method is a prerequisite to technical writing and presentation. Since I know I will pass this, so my next semester I will choose technical writing on INS. It gives you a clear view of your next module. But without that, you have to wait until the results have been marked and submitted to the transcript office, and then you go to transcript, print it to know if you fail for a course or if you cross the course in order to know the next module. And after that, you have to wait until the semester begins before they launch it. Once they launch it, then you will know that this is what I should do. But now, with the help of this current system that we are using, you can have a clear view of your next module. Even some of you now will know that next semester, this is the course that I want to do, and this is the course that I will. Okay? But at that time, at the University of the Gambia, students can only go to the transcript office to print their transcript. Okay? Which wastes a lot of time. Students can only access the semester course catalog at the beginning of the semester, which limit them to prepare for the next semester module during the holiday. Can you see that? Before, you have to wait until school open to know which courses are available for you. But now, in the system, we include that part. I don't know if it is still there or not, or if it is upgraded. In the system, you can know the modules that you're supposed to do before you graduate, and you can know next semester the modules that you're supposed to do. If you ever come across that function, please tell me, let me know now. But I'm sure it's added there. You can know the courses that you can do next semester. Okay, we use the American Online University that was present in the Gambia, and that is present in the Gambia, and at that time has the system. We use it also as a reference to our literature review. We see what they have done and we think we can do it. We call them as in our literature review. Another example literature review that I use is the ETS. ETS is a non-profitable educational body that is considered about advancing quality and equality in education for all people worldwide. ETS is if you want to go to the US to study for master's or bachelor's or whatever, they will ask you a GRE exam or TOEFL or whatever type of exam. You use ETS to write that exam. You use ETS to submit that exam, which is based on online. Okay? They strive in providing innovative and meaningful measurement solution that improve teaching, learning, and expand educational opportunities. Okay? They conduct online course registration and exams such as GRE, which is a requirement for graduate education in the United States. Okay? Before ETS, many students find it very difficult to get admission for graduate studies in the United States because GRE is a strong requirement for graduate students in the university, in the United States as a foreign student. Okay? If you don't have GRE exam or GRE body doing exams in your country or test exam or test body in your country, you will not able to have GRE. If you don't have the GRE exam done, you cannot have graduate studies in the United States. But ETS developed a web-based system for online test registration. It allows students to register the GRE general exam online, choose a center and a date at a student convenient time to do the exam. Students must complete payment for the course before they can register or get access to the pre-material. Okay, payment can be done through a bank or online. Example, Alipay, once the student paid, the system will credit his or her account. It should be account. Then he can choose the type of exam he or she want to do. ETS is also one of the most strongest body that is conducting online exams in the United States. But due to the previous problems that we face, the manual way of doing exams, that GRA, you must travel to a country like Ghana that have a test center to able to do your test, your GRE exam and submit it, the results, and come back to the Gambia. But with the help of ETS, you can be in the Gambia, choose a test center anywhere you want in the world, even here in the Gambia, and do your exam. That's the paper-based, or you use the computer-based. You use the computer-based, you sit in your house and do your exam. You use the paper-based, you go to the test center, which is YMCA, and do the exam and submit it. ETS is also that use web-based system for online test registration. Remember, I was using web-based system for online course registration. This is for online test registration. Mine is for online course registration. So they are very similar. The work I am doing is not something new. Some people have done it before, but they use different direction. So I can use them as my literature review to conduct my work in my own direction. Okay, we are done with the literature review. The rest you can just read it. Now we go to objective of the research. You have an objective. After everything, after reading this literature, knowing the literature or everything, knowing the problem, the background of the study, why? What is the objective of the research? After this, what do you want to do? Why do you want to do this research? Why? Every research must have an objective. And your objective should determine if they should approve your research or not. Your objective should determine. And based on your objective, you should follow in the implementation part, should follow the objective to execute the system. If you design a system, you should follow the objective to try to implement them one by one. So in your system implementation part, the things that we're reading now in the objective, we should able to do it or able to see it in the implementation part. The goal of this research is to reduce or minimize the workload of all the units involved in the course registration process at the beginning of each semester. Our main objective is to reduce the problem that we encounter through the manual way. For example, the student having to meet all the 6 lecturers to sign, take it to the head of the department, the student going to the bank pay and take it to the account officer, the lecturer having to meet all these 100 students or 99 students and have to sign for all of them. We want to eradicate this problem. Or a particular file is missing and the student is victimized that you did not register for the course. These are the problems that we want to eradicate. Okay, the present manual system is encountering many challenges as to maintain data of each student manually and pull out certain data when needed on time. For the manual system, you come here and you want to know if you register for IS last semester. It will be difficult. I have to open different files last semester, different folders to know which one you are part of and know whether you register or not. But with the system, you just go online. Currently, paper registration are mainly to verify student details. And we know paper registration was mainly to verify just the students that they register. From student point of view, which means this objective, we drive it from student point of view, which means during your research background, you ask students questions. And from student point of view, they have to fill the form manually and then get them verified from concerned officers, which is the lecturer, the admission officer, and the head of department, okay, and the account officer. This process takes weeks from the beginning of every semester, which is a very timely consuming process, which you have when you have only 6 to 8 weeks for the full semester, and you already consume 3 to 2 weeks in just registering the course. Then it means you're just going for 4 weeks at the semester ending. The objective of this proposed web application system are this is my objective, that after I design this web application to automate student and faculty database, which we now have in our online course registration system in the Gambia, in the University of the Gambia. It automates student and faculty database. I, as a lecturer, all my data or details are being stored in the database. You, as a student, it automatically stores your data. Once you register for a new course, it will add the course to your data and it will be there forever. Once I give you a mark and save it, it will mark. That mark will be remain in your test forever unless I change it. Okay, this is the automation that I propose, that in our web-based application, we want to have something like this. Automate the registration process without any physical human intervention. You don't need, the students don't need to come to me to approve or to sign. They just need to go online and fill in the form or sign, register for a course. I will also log into my portal and accept you. Just like I showed you before, I just accept 3 students in this class. So this is another process that I propose in my objective, that it should happen in the system. And it's also met in the system, which means the implementation of the system covers this too so far. To maintain data constantly and integrity, this is also met. The data is maintained and the consistency and integrity of the data is maintained. You cannot have an A in one course, after 2 semesters, 3 semesters, you come and say, I was having A+, but now they give me A because your system have problem. Just because you had that, our system have problem and we are never use that advantage to say that the system also affect your grade by reducing the QGPA point, which means we are avoiding that, and this current system will maintain this. So it means it's also what I talk about in my objective. In the implementation part, we also have it covered. To ensure the availability and accessibility of registration process anywhere at any time to the student. And this is accomplished. Students will be in their home. You can even be in China or in America on your holidays. I have students in my class who was in Belgium, and he registered to my classes. Okay, and then he accessed all my lecture notes and all my resources. Regardless of time and location, they can register anywhere at any time. Middle of the night, you can register. It's nothing like, oh, accounts they close, you cannot register now, or the faculty officer is out, you have to wait, or you cannot register now, you have to go to Birkama, he's there. No, just take your phone and register and leave it with that. Make the system accessible by faculty officer to acknowledge registration requests from anywhere. This is what I just did right now. I acknowledge registration request, which is 3 students that registered to this course, Keba and the other 2. So I acknowledge them, but I accept them. If I want, I can deny them. If I deny them, they cannot do the course. But I acknowledge them. Okay, these are some of the objectives. There are many, so you can read them. These are some of the objectives that I propose that we should be able to get a system that will do this for us. And nowadays, the current system that we have, that's the UTG portal, it's accomplishing all these objectives that we list. So if you're designing if you choose a topic and you're doing your research, make sure your objectives should be in the implementation part. Maybe this is just a proposal. If you write this proposal, I don't know what your implementation might be, but I'm just approving. But if you continue designing the proper project, at the end of the day, before you finish that final project, you will have your implementation part. And that implementation part, I should be able to see your objective. I hope you understand this very well. Don't just be sugaring your mouth or trying to outsmart me and saying all the nice things that you think you can do or you want to do with the system that you're proposing. It's not just about talking. When you bring your implementation, in the implementation part, this objectives should be met. The achievement of the above objective can help the University of the Gambia in maintaining students' information efficiently and save time, eradicate of common errors. And eradication of common errors. After the objective, you bring the proposed solution. You have a problem before, which you mentioned in your background. You have a motivation, what motivates you to challenge this problem? You have objective, what do you want to achieve in your objective? You have proposed solution, what do you think will be the ultimate solution to everything that you have said so far? This project aims to develop an online system for students and for students course registration. That's what we aim. The system will allow students to select 4 courses offering in the coming semester, which you now have in your solution. You can log in online, select 6 courses that you will register. I think the students, you can register 6 courses or 4 courses?
6 courses.
Okay, you can, but in my proposal, this is how I bring it at that time, that the solution that I want them to follow in order to solve this problem is that they should allow students to select 4 courses offering in the coming semester. In addition, each student will have additional 2 alternative courses, okay, to fill in or to cancel. For example, 4 courses will be a minimum that you can register. And additionally, you have 2 other courses that you will add. You can add any of those 2 courses to make it 6, or you can drop 1 to make it 5, or you can drop the 2 to make it 4 only. But minimum you will have 4, and you have additionally 2 courses. No course offering will have more than 30 students. For example, right now, not more than 60 students can register to a major course. If you want to register, if you have more than 60 students, if we have already 60 students and we have other students that want to register, I have to approve that. Okay, which means after 60 students, are you seeing the presentation?
Yes.
Like here, you can see I have 32 students. Here, I can choose the list of students I want to have. Okay, if I select, for example, if I choose that I just want to have 50 students, after 50 students, no student can register again in my course. So it has to stop at 50. But in this proposal, it was 30 students. No class should have more than 30 students. And that's the normal standard of university. You should not have more than 30 students. When the class is too much, it's difficult to teach, to mark, to grade properly. You tend to rush everything and it becomes a problem. No course offering will have less than 10 students. If you have less than 10 students, you have to defer that course until next semester, and we have other courses that are more needed or that have more awaiting students. Once the student complete registration, the registration system sends information to the billing system so that the students can be billed for that semester. In these methods that I propose, you have to have a billing system, which means students will know what they should pay after they register. Once they complete registration,
Hello.
it is presented. Yes.
My battery is down to 1%, so I just want to let you know.
You don't have a charger or no lights?
No light at my area.
Yeah, anyway, Gabriel, where's Gabriel? You can take attendance now.
Okay.
Because I'm about to wrap up even. You can take attendance. Yeah, Bernard.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I appreciate. If you know you're about to log out, I am teaching. I cannot be teaching and observing how many students are online. If you know you are about to log out for some reason beyond your control, you inform me. I am a human being. I understand people. You inform me that like that, I would understand. So if something wrong after we get the attendance and your name is not there, then I will know definitely you inform me before. But if you don't do that, I only work with what I have. After the class, if I take the attendance, that's the only thing I will take. And maybe you don't trust me, but I said this, if you miss my class 3 times, you cannot have A in my class. That's deliberate. In an academic, you miss a class 3 times for 8-week semester. It means you mix 3 weeks because each class is just 1 week. If it is a 6-week semester, you miss 3 classes. How many classes did you attend? 3 classes. Introduction, before the other thing, you're done. Some of the students will just want to come on assignment and do assignment, which is bad. So I hope you understand it that way. So this is my proposed solution. I share the document. You can take your time to read the proposed solution. I propose a solution that the system will work in this manner. Okay? From there, in the proposed solution, you describe how the features of the system, which is the admin dashboard, which I am having now, and students dashboard, which you are having now. Lecturers dashboard, I also have lecturers dashboard because you have admin dashboard, that's the administration, the ones that are responsible for managing this portal. Okay, lecturers dashboard, they also log in like a student to manage the courses that they are teaching. Students also log in to manage or apply or whatever the courses that they are registered to take. Okay, registrar of office dashboard. Registrar like Asan also have its own dashboard to be able to manage students that register for this course in our semester or in our school, something like that. From there, you describe the proposed system architecture. Okay, in order to migrate from the manual process of course registration to an electronic course registration, web server and a database server are the key actors in such system. We must have a web server and a database server. We all know what is web server and database server. Without these two, you cannot have a system. Okay, students only need internet connection to access their courses catalog and other information through the web server. Various actors in the registration process will also be able to log into the web server to approve and update registration process, like I log in to approve your registration. Students' registration data will be stored in the database as the center of data storage. The database can be accessed and managed by any authorized individual. Not necessarily you have a particular person that will just manage. No, you have all the people, staff working within the university. If they have the authorization to manage the database, they can manage it. Below is a web-based system architecture for UTG course registration system. You see, this time, when I was proposing this, when UTG was not having any course registration system, that was in 2014, this was my proposal. And I named it UTG course registration system. That's UTG course registration system. You also have to give your registration, your proposal a name. For example, if you're designing a waste management system, you can call it KMC waste management system. If you're designing a healthcare monitoring system, you can call it Edward Francis Small, or you can call it Banjul, or you can call it any name you want, but just give it a name. Okay. This is our system architecture. We know the students have their computers, and academic staff like Asan and Hussein who have their computers. Academic staff like myself and Lama and others lecturers, Amir, have their computers or devices connected to the internet. We have admin staff like Husseinu, like Asan, like Wahab, like Abdu. They have their computers also connected here. We have an Apache web server and a database server. And this is system architecture. Okay. From there, you describe the functional description. Functional description, here in your own case, if you're proposing a proposal, you design the functional description, like the modules, okay? Who can do what and what they can do. In the proposed system, registrar activities involve all students, academic officers, such as lecturers and head of department. Admin officer include accountancy, that's the accounts office, registrar, and all related educational administrator. These consist large number of users. The users are divided into 3 categories as shown in the functional description diagram above. Okay, this is the functional description diagram. You have them. This is the 3 category of staff that we have. Okay, student module. Now you describe the students module, what the students can do. You know, students can log in. For example, right now, student can log in and select course. Students can log in and upload assignment. Students can log in and query for a grade. These are a lot of things that student can do. You discuss all those things. If you come to the academic module, you discuss what the academic module are capable of doing. They can register course or they can submit course online. They can submit the course catalog before the semester begins. They can also submit grades after marking. They can submit assignments online. They can conduct tests online. They can conduct quiz online. You explain the academic modules, what they are capable of doing. Admin module, you also describe what the admin module is capable of doing. The admin modules are responsible for payment, authorization, okay, or denial, or most of the process, upgrading the course curriculum, or upgrading the course catalog, or upgrading the timetable, or upgrading the course registration time, and that's the deadline for course registration, which is the add and drop period. They are also responsible for that. You can see here on the online student course registration portal, this is the functional description. You also have to bring your functional description in diagram form to show the hierarchy, how they will work. Okay, don't just mention it here like this. No, you discuss them and you give a description in a diagram to show an easy process that this is what the academic staff can do. As an academic staff, you either be a teacher, a lecturer, or HOD. If you're a teacher, you can approve course, manage course, and confirm students management. If you're a academic HOD, academic staff, you can also be HOD. HOD, they don't teach, but they confirm students management. That's all they do. They confirm students that register, or you register for a particular department, or you are not qualified to continue computer science. You have to be moved to information system. This is their responsibility. Okay, operational process flow. This you explain the process that's how they, like for example, if you come to the students module, you explain the operational flow. What student can do, course management. How do they manage course? You explain one by one how they register for the courses. And again, you explain, for example, assignments, upload. You explain how will they upload assignments. Course selection, you explain how will they do course selection. Verification, you explain how they do the verification in your own system. Remember, this was my system. So this is the process that I think that I will follow for students to receive notification, or for students to able to select their course. And if they select their course, what will happen? They will receive a notification that their course is being accepted. All these things, you have to explain them into modules, details by details. And the notification, how they will come, you also have to explain it. This is a registration portal. For example, this is the portal that you now have. Students will do offline payment to accounts, and accounts will send the billing credential to the system. Okay, the students will have the opportunity to select course. Okay, check students' data again. If students did not make a payment, the system will verify and say check student payment again. If the payment is done, the verification process will work, and then admin officer will approve you and you continue your registration and done. But once you did not make the payment from account, it will not verify you. It will also say check student data again. It will say to check the data, whether you mistaken the man number or the student name, or if the student did not pay, did not pay. If the student insists that I pay, it will ask you that to check the student's data again, which means you check the name or the man number again, but the name and man number you enter is not correct. Okay, from there, that brings us to the end of the proposal writing. And from there, you can see we have a schedule. In your proposal, after writing your proposal, you should submit a schedule when you're submitting your proposal. The schedule should be tax, dates, deadlines, and remarks. Okay, project, proposal written, and defend. This is the date between, for example, next week, your project proposal and defense start this week. today after this class. Okay, it starts today and it will end in 2 weeks time. So you will bring the end of that 2 weeks time here. We will discuss that in the group. Gabriel, you remind me, we discussed that in the group. You bring the end of that date to your schedule. Okay, you give the deadline for that date here to be submitted to who? Supervisor. To be submitted to who? Me. Okay, in your remark, you make sure that you indicate that you should submit this project at this date to me here. Okay, programming skills learning. Okay, these are the programming skills. For example, that's why I will give you 2 weeks. These 2 weeks, you have to go online to cite some programming, cite some skills, and read some documents to understand it, to able to quote those documents as your literature review. That should have a date as well, and you indicate that date here. Okay, to be conducted by lab assistant. In case I have an assistant in this case, or in case Isenu was not busy, I can use him to able to teach you how to do this, some of the project or some of the skills that you need to know to able to carry out this project. Okay, and if you're doing a thesis or a research dissertation, this is the same method and mechanism that you should follow. This is the same method that I followed when I was doing my thesis. Okay. You also give a task system design and development, the time that you would take to design your system. You know, after you finish your proposal and submit it to me and I approve it, I don't want to see you again. I only want to see you when the day is ready for you to present your system. I give you a task, now you are ready to design your system. You start to search for materials, and then you start to write about your design process and your implementation stage, your module stage. Once you're stuck somewhere, you email me or you go to the Google Classroom and submit your work and add a private comment. I will go to the private comment, read your message, and then I will be able to help you to continue if you stuck somewhere. Okay? After that, when you develop the system already, then you start to write your project. But in your own case, I am not sure if any one of you is developing a project, if designing or developing a system. If you're not designing a system, after learning or understanding the methods that you're using, go straight away and start writing your project paper. Write your project paper. And the minimum pages that you should give me is 40 pages. The minimum should be 40 pages. Minimum. And minimum reference should be 30 reference. Minimum reference should be 30 reference. And then that's bring us to the end of the lecture today. By next class, inshallah, next week, we will discuss about reference. No, next week is off for you to continue working with your proposal. The following week, we will discuss about the reference. Only the reference. That will take only 30 minutes. We just discuss the reference and we are done. How to take reference, and then you will able to include the reference in your proposal. From there, we wait for the, I will give you a time frame now to take whether 2 weeks or 3 weeks to write your project. After taking the 3 weeks or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, which I think it will be in 3 weeks time or 4 weeks maximum to write your project. Once you've done that, we set a date for defense and we will have defense. We cannot have pre-defense and defense because of time. So you can do pre-defense among yourself. You organize your PPT and then you sit with other colleagues and you do your defense and you ask other people to ask you questions or to judge your presentation style or whatever. We can discuss the presentation defense during the reference discussion as well next class. That's bring us to the end of the class. So if you have any questions, you can ask quickly. Lamin, go ahead, Lamin Bolongjai. You can stop the recording. If you, the one recording, yes. Yes, I'm getting you.
I think the 2 weeks is kind of slow, a little bit small. Can you make it 3 weeks? For the submission of proposal. The submission of proposal, can you make it 3 weeks?
3 weeks. It starts today.
Yeah.
Can someone?
Yeah, you know we have the other